Okay, morning everyone. I'm going to clean part of the caravan today, not because it's particularly dirty, but mainly because we've been away for 2 weeks and I've wiped the caravan over since we've been here, but this side of the van I haven't managed to do it because I've had the roll out at the top and the sides down, so I've had a full awning, and I prefer to keep sort of chemicals and cleaning products that are not awning friendly away from the awning. So as I've done most of the van, I'm just going to clean this side down just before we head off. Not because I'm one of these proud people that likes to show off a clean caravan on the road, albeit I am a proud person, but because we put it into storage, so I have to make sure that I keep it clean for as long as I can and clean it where I can. So I'm going to use a waterless system today, because I don't want to get all the sponges and everything out. Now if you look down here, the van is relatively dirty in places, so it does need a wipe over, and what I'm going to use today is this. I'm going to use King of Sheen. It's the Professional Caravan and Motorhome Waterless Eco Wash and Wax, and it comes in a big drum like that, which I got from Amazon, I think it was, or eBay, with a spray handle and a pipe. And the whole idea is you spray it on the side of the caravan, you rub it on with one cloth, let it dry, and then buff it off with a second. So we're going to give it a go and see how easy it is. Now, as I said, it comes with this spray handle and quite a long tube coming through from the container, so it's easy to handle and squirt onto the van. It's quite disconcerting because if you look, it comes out at a green colour, and you look at that and think, is that really that good? There you go, it's green. But let's see. We'll spray it on the van, and then we'll give it a wipe over and see how we get on. Okay, well, I've sprayed the van, and I've just got a standard microfiber cloth, which I'm just going to wipe the spray into, not particularly aggressively, but I just want to, nice and slow, just so that we get all the areas of the van covered. I haven't got any help here today, so bear with me because I'm just doing this one-handed, but you know my videos, keep it real, keep it simple. So I'm going to carry on just rubbing that in all over the van, and I'll come back to you shortly. Okay, so what I've done now is I've sprayed the side of the van, given it a good wipe over with a cloth, and rubbed the King of Sheen waterless wash into it, and that took me about 3 minutes. I wasn't particularly rushing it, just running the cloth over the sides, getting into those nooks and crannies that were a bit grubby, and that's it. I've left it now, so I shall just leave that to dry out a bit and then buff it off. What they do say on the instructions is don't do it in direct sunlight, because I think that just dries it out too quickly. It makes the buffing off just a little bit harder. But just a normal day where it's dry, and we should have a good result. So I'll leave that for a bit. I'll get on some chores that Mrs. Tin Tenter wants me to do, and we'll have a look at it when I come back again shortly. Okay, so it seems to be relatively dry now, so I'm just going to buff off. Now, I always buff the windows first. The reason being is because if you've got a dry, clean cloth, you know, you've got no grit in it. Now, if you buff the sides up first before you touch the windows, you may pick up some grit, which may means you drag that across the windows. So just to be safe, let's just buff the windows up first. Now you can't actually see this too well on the camera, but trust me, this really is very little effort and it's very easy to wipe off. That's it. That has now been wiped off that window. And if you actually run your finger across that window, that was Mrs. TT on the inside, as she said goodbye, you can actually feel how silky and soft that is. So do the windows first, and then once you've done the windows, carry on with the sides of the van, and you should end up with a really nice job there. I'll come back to you again shortly. Alright then, that's taken me about 5 minutes, so I've now buffed up the entire side of the van. You can't really see the difference on here, but you've got to take my word, it is clean. It's a lot cleaner. You'll see that's very clean down the side. You might just be able to see there's a reflection in the side of the van as well, and the windows, so that's telling us that we've got quite a clean side and surfaces there. Now there's a couple of things that it didn't do. I've got a couple of black streaks that were under the window here, and I found it didn't take them out completely, so it needed a little bit of help from another product just to spray under there and get rid of that black streak. And also I found on the box here, where you get these surrounds here, these are not sort of smooth, they're quite a rough finish, and I found it left this quite streaky and quite mucky in places, so it's not necessarily very good for that. For the shiny sides they're perfect, but for this sort of rough side here, that's not quite so good. But on the whole, the windows and the sides of the van, yeah, very good job. Quite pleased with that. Certainly cleaned it up, ready for the trip home, and I now know that all sides of the van are clean. So if you found that of some interest, please give me a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. Hit the button and subscribe to the channel. That's what we've been looking at today. It's the King of Sheen, and I'm sure you can find it on Amazon, eBay, all other sites. Thanks very much for watching, really appreciate your support, and well, catch you later. Bye for now.